Hey folks, it's Brian. We got to play RQG tonight. We continued with our combat with the four soldiers who came in upon the party and that were trapped in that hallway. We ended the last session with Daven dropping unconscious to the ground and the giant spider that he slew starting to rise up. Um, we began this session with a passion roll for Summer because Summer has a passion for Daven, and he rolled a special success on that. So she, this is how I've been running. Summer. She's got this split personality. She believes she's this goddess, but she's in fact a dragon, a dream dragon. And so when certain stressors become involved, she'll revert to being a dragon. And this was one of them. David went down. She's not going to let him die like that. So she transformed and started attacking the giant spider, bite and claw, bite and claw, bite and claw kind of thing. And meanwhile, everybody's fighting the four soldier guys. And Restra had her axe, and she did slash two points of slash on her axe, and so she ripped through the shield and the body of one of the sword and shield guys. Plus, people throwing demoralizers around, and so the fighter the bad guy fighters were getting kind of they were holding their own, slowly getting pinged down with disruptions and that kind of thing. And so they weren't too worried about the fight until Restra with her axe took that guy down. And at that point, they got nervous, and there's one of the spearmen that Restra was up on had Sever Spirit, so he did that. She missed her roll, so she falls to the ground. Then one of the spearmen throws up a light wall because they're going to start to back out because the other sword and shield guy went down that round as well. And so they pull back and take off. While that's happening, Jarstakos decides to step through the light wall and he's going to cast lightning bolt at the spearman who did the Sever Spirit. But at that point, he was down far enough down out of the hallway that he couldn't get a clean shot. So he grabs the rest of his body, pulls her back. Everybody's ganging up on the giant spider at this point. Lots of nickel and diamond here and there. A couple of good shots to the abdomen, but mostly taking out limbs. But it's got 8 legs, right? So loses one here, one there. A couple points here, a couple points there. Most of the damage seemed to be done with disruptions. But since it's a zombie, it's not really a thinking monster. It didn't worry, and it was taking damage, but couldn't really tell where it's coming from necessarily. But it's fighting the dragon because the dragon's biting at it. But it's still doing some decent dodging because even a zombie giant spider has a decent dex. And so it's just kind of dancing around it. And of course, his dodge keeps going down as everybody's jabbing at it. So they're able to do, but it got critical attacks on the dragon twice. And at one point put her unconscious. And one of my house rules has to do with creatures, animals defending themselves. I mean, just poke a spear at a bear is going to whack that spear out of the way, right? Now, is it doing a full parry block, taking damage kind of thing? Not really, but I play with the rules a little bit on that. The hit points you have is how much you can push out of the way, kind of thing. But after you push that away and crits, bypass armor, so she took damage in her arm a couple times, plus damage to her head. But their healer guy was right there, so he did, heal 5 on her head, brought her positive. She stood back up. More biting and stab, swing, disruption, and eventually they brought the giant spider zombie down. But it got hairy there a couple times. It got pretty close. Also, Miriam, because the lunar soldiers, one of them that died during one of those rounds. So the next round, the spirit's there getting ready to leave. She sent the fetch after engaging spirit combat. They had a couple rounds of spirit combat. First time the fetch got a special and got a regular success, so the special damage took damage. The second time they tied, but that was enough to take the fetch down to 0. So it went away. How do you destroy spirits? I still haven't been able to figure that out yet. If you know, please let me know. Oh, by the way, in the description is the live play if you're into watching that kind of thing. It was kind of short. Because the way once the combat was all over, someone says, we've got to go on a hero quest. We got to get David back to the army. And so he said, what about a restaurant? Who? We need to save David. But then she realized, that's right, the temple is just down the river. The Slira temple, where they've got a connection. So that's their plan. Get out of here, get down to the Slira temple. No encounters inside the keep, but traveling through town to get down to the river. Just before they get to the river, there's an encounter. So we kind of stopped it there, so I get a chance to prep up that random encounter. Which are, kind of hard to do with RQ because of the kinds of things that can happen. And it's not going to be an easy encounter, or at least a friendly encounter. It'll be offense, but everybody, they have been sucked down in magic points, and rune points for that matter. So they're going to be kind of hurting. And it's not too bad of an encounter though, so they just have a little bit of a fight before they get to the river, where I assume they will try to summon a loon, or summon a naiad to summon a loon, and take them down to the river to the Slira temple, where they will do what they can for a hero quest to the underworld to bring back David and Orestra. And we'll see how that goes. Happy gaming!